Tonight, first responders get new drugs to help replace the old drugs that they were giving to drug abusers. Are you okay with your teenage daughter potentially having to compete and bathe with little Pookie and Tay-Tay? Wait, I'm sorry. That's little Pookisha and Tasha. Do you text while driving? Can you please stop? See these stories and more on the Blackman Show. Let's go. What is good? What is good? This is the Blackman Show, where we take a brief look into the news and current events, all those things that affect me, you, and all of our fellow Americans. So if you are up for getting regular and quick bites of the news provided for your consumption, please feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell, all that good humming. Look, you can even share it with your mama. I promise that she will like it. And you can tell her we will be brief, but effective. Don't mind me if our first stories concern the state that I live in, the state of Missouri. So there are some new bills that are being signed by our Governor Parsons, seen here, assuming his natural form, that have gone into effect as of August 28, 2023. First of these is the texting and driving bill, first introduced 2 years ago by Raymore widow Stephanie Benning after tragically losing her husband to a distracted driver on Interstate 4. This bill is set to reduce accidents and auto-related incidents related to distracted driving. It's kind of interesting to note that between 2012 and 2021, there have been nearly 200,000, can you believe it, 200,000 crashes where distracted driving was the cause, and almost 1,000 of them led to death in the state of Missouri alone. With the signing of this bill in July, distracted driving violators will receive a warning currently. So that means between now and December 31st of 2024, they're basically rolling in the changes slowly to give people a chance to kind of get familiar with what's going on. So, but once the bill goes into full effect on January 1st, 2025, violators could be charged with a misdemeanor or felony and will receive at least a $150 fine. So that means you can't drive with your phone in hand, scrolling or doing any of that outside stuff, anything outside of using your hands-free device. So otherwise, you will be penalized. Now, that said, as you're driving around today, how about we take account, right? How many people just today have you seen or do you think you'll see driving, with their phone in hand while pushing a 1 to 2 ton death machine down the road? I'm just kind of curious. I'm just wondering. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Inquiry minds want to know. And then, are any of y'all familiar with the Painkiller series on Netflix? Starring Matthew Broderick and Orange is the New Black's Uzo Aduba, it dramatically and sometimes actually comedically logs the activities of the Sackler family and their effect on the American landscape as they created, pushed, and promoted the opiate OxyContin as a prescribed painkiller. Opiate, by the way, means containing or resembling opium, a relatable substance that can come to mind when anytime anybody's thinking of the effects of an opiate or something in that world would include anesthesia. Just think anesthesia, right? The stuff that knocks you out before you get your spleen removed, your liver taken, and you're left in the ice bath in Tijuana because the woman you met in the club the night before told you eating that worm would be divertido. So normally when somebody's going through an opiate overdose, right, first responders have been offering Narcan to help bring the sufferers down. Now, also known as naloxone, Narcan has its own list of side effects, including high blood pressure and muscle pain, as well as an effectiveness window of as short as 1 to 2 hours. Well, sufferers can now thank Senate Missouri Bill 186, which now opens the window for first responders to use other substitutes like OPV, which among its side effects include headache, nausea, and taste changes, has an effectiveness window of almost 12 hours. However, concerns are still carried with the OPV, currently costing almost twice as much as Narcan, so we'll still see what's going to happen. But with fentanyl coming across the border in droves and potentially being mixed in your favorite edibles, it's great to know that first responders now have better options to help bring you down before you're selling your teeth, conducting a performance in a local alley just so daddy can get some more of them CBD gummies. Not that I'm saying I know people who've done it, but I may know some people who have done that. Allegedly. Now, Missouri's hardest areas include St. Louis City, Washington, and Dent counties. Whew! Good to know that Kansas City's not included in that, but are they sure about not including Independence? I'm just saying. Speaking of first responders, also going into effect is Senate Bill 24, which provides better mental care for our frontline workers suffering from PTSD. Okay, think about it, right? Most times an EMT maybe has a couple of cuts, broken bones to deal with, but every once in a while, one of those opiate-induced distracted drivers doesn't make it home because texting a D-pic is more important than watching the road. And now these first responders are the ones who are left on the road having to scrape your ass off the Hawaiian Brothers awning in Independence again. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. But seriously, the Senate bill creates a voluntary benefit pool of funds for mental health treatment of up to $10,000. Now, while that might not be the absolute answer, this is definitely a great win for many of the frontline workers. Now, looking at things from a national perspective, who knows? Maybe this will lead to us finally getting more money for our 9/11 first responders. I'm just saying. Other Missouri bills going into effect include Senate Bill 34, which allows public and charter schools to offer the New Testament and Old Hebrew as electives. Now, high school students in Missouri are required to take at least 7 electives in order to graduate. So these new subjects are added to a list that already includes courses in Latin heritage and African American studies, which have been added just 2 years ago. But I'm telling you, if it's a choice between the Old Hebrew and the New Testament, I'm trying to get that new, you dig? Senate Bill 398 includes new measures for vehicle registration, giving dealerships in the state of Missouri the ability to collect sales tax and give license plates opposed to having to take care of all that stuff at the local DMV. So those of you Pontiac drivers still driving off the lots in those discontinued retreads can now roll easy for the next 3 months, or as long as that transmission is going to last you, with actual plates and tags on your new vehicle. Now, I know this may be a foreign concept to most of you, but yes, gone are the days with those 2019 tags still blowing in the breeze. That's going to give us nearby drivers the fright of our lives because we're not sure if you're going to even have insurance of your vehicle on that discontinued drivetrain. Now, we, the population dealing with you on the road, can rest a bit more assured, knowing or hoping at least for a minute you have insurance, considering this bill states that you need to have it to drive that death trap off the lot in the first place.
Peace and blessings. Once again, it's your boy 7. Tim tags on the Pontiac.
Man, here we go. Check this out. People get all kinds of stuff in the ride. All kinds of shit, pack ratting and shit. And wouldn't you know it? Motherfucking Pontiac. Oh, kill him. I hate him.
He says motherfucking Pontiac.
Please, kids, buckle up. After all, there are Pontiacs out there. The governor also signed 2 bills into law affecting trans students. Senate Bill 39 bans all transgender women at all Missouri high schools and colleges from participating in female segregated sports. Now, I can't say that I'm in opposition to this, as it's not like we see a huge amount of trans men taking over football and wrestling from the boys, right? And then there's Senate Bill 49, which bans healthcare providers from providing medications or surgeries to help with gender transition to anyone under the age of 18. It just seems to make sense to actually have more conversation and information and that afforded to the terms and conditions of a random app that are just downloaded. And doing so as an adult, I don't know, even makes more sense. Go figure. I don't know. While I have to say that I agree with the bill, it's just weird to me that we can have such a hard push for gender affirming care and possess the funding for it already, while we still can't get our hands on that elusive, universal health care. Amazing. Almost like one thing is more important than the other. Almost like there's an agenda. And our last story of the day, just days ago, and on the heels of the 60th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's March on Washington, which was to address racism and bigotry, there was another mass shooting, this time near the campus of an HBCU, historically Black college and university, Edward Waters University, located in Jacksonville, Florida. Apparently, the shooter initially had the university in his sights before aborting that idea to instead carry out his plan at the nearby Dollar General store. I don't know. Now, just like many other newscasters, I won't be uplifting this dude by sharing much of his information, but I will say he's of the mayoist of the mayonnaise men and seemingly had a major hair up his ass for black people. That's right, this guy, armed with a handgun, a recently purchased AR-15, and some good old-fashioned racism. The shooter shot and killed 3 African Americans before ultimately turning the weapon on himself. Now, those victims are 52-year-old Angela Carr, 19-year-old A.J. Laguerre Jr., and 29-year-old Gerald Gallion. Now, the 21-year-old shooter left behind a manifesto the way bin Laden was leaving around the mixtapes in the 90s, but I won't be sharing any of this information here. However, we will be sure to keep you posted as new and pertinent information becomes available. Our hearts absolutely go out to the victims of this tragic shooting. And with that, I'd like to ask what you all think the solutions to shootings such as these should be. All right. In general, do you think a bad gun owner is best met by a good one? Is legislation the answer? What does it matter if the people who are supposed to carry out this legislation don't want to do it simply? And as for the other stories, what do you think about testing and driving? Do you plan to say you didn't know about the law so you can talk your way out of a ticket? How about those trans bills? Are you in support or in opposition? Let us know your thoughts on these or any of the other stories in the comments down below. I definitely look forward to your feedback. And with that said, thanks for joining us here on the Blackman Show. We hope if you like this sort of content, that you'll hit the like and subscribe buttons and share with your peeps. We're looking to do this regularly, and we could use your help to grow our audience. Please be sure to follow us on TikTok and Twitter. I'll put the information below. But with that said, I am 7 Blackman. This has been the Blackman Show. And until next time, you all take care. Peace.